Okay, well, now we're going to start adding and subtracting with unlike denominators. Our main idea is to add and subtract fractions with unlike denominators. The new vocabulary for here is unlike fractions. When we talk about that, we're talking about fractions like 1/2 plus 2/3. These denominators are different. In order to do this, we're going to have to find the LCD, the least common denominator, or the lowest common denominator. Here's the TEK we're working on, 6.2a. We're still working on it, but now we're doing it with unlike denominators. Here are the basic rules or key concepts that we'll be focusing on as we learn how to do this. To add or subtract fractions with different denominators, unlike denominators, rename the fractions using the least common denominator, the LCD. Add or subtract with like fractions. If necessary, simplify the sum or difference. Realizing that once you get the common denominator, the only unlike numbers are the numerators, and you'll add or subtract them. Okay, let's try an example first. Let's say we're going to add 1/4 and 2/5. Okay, first thing we need to do is factor these into primes. 4 is 2 times 2, and we know that 5 is prime. Next step is to stack our primes. So we're going to go, let's see, the primes for 4 are 2 times 2. The primes for 5, well, we don't have any 2's, but we have a 5. Remember, everybody gets to come to the party. So we bring down this 2, we'll bring down this 2, and we'll bring down a 5. So we'll have 2 times 2 times 5. Our new LCD is, like I said, 2 times 2 times 5, which equals 20. So now this is our new LCD, our new least common denominator. We now have a new denominator. So now let's set our original fractions up to the 20ths and come up with how many 20ths it is that was originally 1/4. So we've got 1/4 is equal to how many 20ths, and 2/5 is equal to how many 20ths. Well, we're going to do our z. 4 goes into 20 5 times. 5 times 1 is 5. So now we're going to go 5 goes into 20 4 times. 4 times 2 is 8. Oops, let's erase that. Let me do that right. 4 times 2 is 8. Now we can add these up. Remember how it showed us in our previous video? We can say 5 plus 8 20ths is equal to 13 20ths. There's our answer. We know it's in lowest terms because the top is a prime number, and we know that the bottom is not a multiple of that prime. All right, here's one for you to try. Work it out. Remember to find your least common denominator, then do your z, and then add your numerators. Here's another practice problem for you to do. Remember to find your common denominator, set both of your fractions equal to that with the new denominator, do the z, and then do your subtraction. Okay, let's look at this real-world example. Pet adoption. Use the table to find the fraction of adopted dogs in one town that are either golden retrievers or a mixed breed. You notice in our table, we have German Shepherds are 3/20ths, golden retrievers are 7/25ths, Jack Russells are 1/20th, poodles are 3/25ths, and mixed are 2/5. It's asked for us to look at golden retrievers and mixed breed. So we're looking at golden retrievers and mixed breed. Okay, I'm going to use the abbreviation GR for golden retriever, and that fraction was 7/25. And then mixed we're going to use for M, and that fraction was 2/5. First thing we need to do is factor into primes. We know that 5 is already prime. And guess what? 25 factors out into 5 times 5. So now we're going to stack. Our 25 stack will look like 5 times 5. Our 5 stack will look like 5 and nothing else. Remember, everybody comes to the party. 5 times 5, our new denominator is 25. So now, conveniently enough, our original fraction for golden retrievers is already in 7/25 format, and 25 is our new denominator. So we can just keep that as 7/25. Now down here though, we have to take 2/5 and convert it into 25. Well, here we go. Let's look at 5 going into 25, 5 times 2 is 10. So we're going to add, as it shows, 7/25 with 10/25. I'm going to write that 7 plus 10/25, which equals 17/25 of the dogs were either golden retriever or mixed breed. Okay, here's our last problem for the slide. I'd like for you to do this. It's very similar to the last problem we did regarding golden retrievers and mixed breed. Work this out in your journal. Make sure you show your work and have it ready to reflect on when you come to class.